Hungry, right? Hello, everybody. It is Peachy here. Oh, you didn't brush your teeth. Go brush your teeth. I forgot. Okay, we'll brush after. Mommy's gonna do a video, so please keep it down. I'm gonna do a video, okay? Good morning, everyone. It's another beautiful morning here. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. Obviously, I've been watching too much Daniel Tiger with the kids. So, this morning, I'm coming here just to do some Q&As that I wanted to do last night, but if you saw my previous video, I kind of got sidetracked or distracted by some other issues that I wanted to speak on that were going on specifically with another social media personality and awesome lady, actually. Because I appreciate talent. When I see talent, I appreciate talent. So, anyways.
I want the big phone, please.
Go get it. It's on the charger. It's already charged. So, yeah, I wanted to do this.
Strawberry. Yeah.
Oh, do you? Okay, 1 second. I just want to see something. I just want to pull up some. Comments here because I've been getting comments on my channel for a while. For those of you who don't know, I'm on Facebook. I'm also on YouTube. But I've been getting a lot of comments that not a lot, but some comments that I feel are worthy of answering. Sorry, trolls. I'm not going to answer your questions. I'm not. This is a positive, judgment-free platform environment. So for women, specifically women of color, and the issues we go through. And one of the big issues we go through is uterine fibroids. Most women go through uterine fibroids, about 50 to 60% that are actually diagnosed, and probably another 20% that have no idea that they have them. And sometimes you can have them so small that you go right into menopause, and then they end up disappearing through menopause and the hormonal changes of that. The same hormones that was feeding them previously doesn't exist anymore, so they end up disappearing. Or not, it doesn't exist, it's at much lower quantities, so they end up disappearing in menopause. So some women don't even realize that they have fibroids until never. But for women like me, this platform is for you because I have uterine fibroids and they're very obvious, they're massive, and I've been trying to shrink them naturally this time. I did have a procedure done. I did talk about this in a previous video that I got uterine artery embolization. That's pretty much what they put a little scope down in one of your arteries, right down. I think it came in through my arm. Technology these days, guys. Medical technology through my arm and went down my body. I was awake the whole time, and they'll have like an x-ray screen above you so they can see if everything's going well. And it goes right down, and it has I think it has a little camera so they can see where they're going. It goes right down into the arteries of the uterus and finds specifically the arteries that are feeding blood flow into the fibroids themselves. And then they place a tiny little kind of like, the way I can describe it, the way the doctor described it to me, is they're like little pebbles, almost like little beads. I guess beads, that's the more accurate description. They're little beads, and then they place them at that point to block the blood supply to the fibroids, and that causes the fibroids to obviously die because they have nothing feeding them. And at first, I kind of regretted getting it because my fibroids calcified within like a month or two after. And then I realized that, you know what, that's a part of them dying. That's okay. It's okay for them to calcify. And the reason I was sad is because I
I'm
thought,
going to
oh,
eat it right
so
now.
I have these massive, calcified fibroids that are just gonna sit in my body forever. They're not gonna go anywhere unless I have surgery. And I didn't want to go for surgery again because I had just had a C-section for my 1-year-old, and I was just recovering from that. It was a painful ordeal. I lost just about half my blood in my body. I had to get massive blood transfusions, iron transfusions, just to keep me alive. Like, it was a scary situation. So I was just like, if I don't have to go under the knife, I don't want to go under the knife again. So because of that, I was like, okay, it can't just be like that's it. Like that's all there is to it. I have to live with this massive, football size fibroid in my uterus. So I did some research and I realized that, talking to some other women, and some of you amazing people, amazing women were commenting as well on my video that I mentioned that procedure and that, I have calcified fibroids and what I'm concerned about. A lot of you answered my question, and that's what made me, actually propelled me and inspired me to do the research. And I found out that you can get rid of them. You can actually get rid of them naturally. And I was so happy. I was ecstatic. I'm like, yes, oh my gosh, this is like the best news that I've heard in a long while. So,
This looks like ice.
so now I'm on a journey to get rid of these fibroids, and I'm gonna do it. And
Strawberry looks like ice cream.
I forgot who left the comment, but somebody, some amazing soul left a comment saying that they use serapeptase, which is something I always did use anyways to shrink my fibroids, and it did help me a lot. And diet, obviously my diet is plant-based, and that's been helping a lot. But what I introduced,
And I like the strawberry. So delicious.
You're disturbing. Okay, mommy's not gonna get me. You're disturbing. What I introduced, that's new for me, is apple cider vinegar supplements. And some amazing soul left that comment. Thank you so much, whoever left that comment. Sorry, I have like a gazillion comments, and unfortunately at that time I didn't take note as to who left the comments, so I would have to go through like a million comments just to see who it was. But yeah, I now take 1,000 milligrams off the apple cider with the serapeptase first thing in the morning before any meals, and I make sure to drink a lot of water, because when you take the apple cider vinegar supplements, oh, excuse me, guys. Bless me. When you take the apple cider supplements, it actually says to drink plenty of water with it. So I'm just here chugging up some water / tea. I drink a lot of teas that also help with my uterus, and with shrinking fibroids. I will do another video on that, but right now I wanted to just talk about, since I started taking this, I'm noticing lately my fibroid, it feels like I have fibroid cramps. Like, obviously it's uterus cramps, but it feels like right near my fibroids that it's cramping. And I've just been researching, because obviously I can't do an ultrasound on myself to see if they're actually shrinking or not. And one of the symptoms of fibroids shrinking is that you get acute pain. I'm just reading this off the Google. Okay, you get acute pain, and it's actually the most common symptom. It's a sharp pain in the abdomen that may be accompanied by swelling, and that's exactly what I feel like is happening. If that description right there is actually more accurate than what I said, like fibroid cramp. Like, I just didn't know exactly how to explain it, but I feel like that's what's happening here. So I'm trying to figure out if maybe they're starting to shrink. I didn't think they were going to start shrinking this early. I mean, I was being patient anyways, because I started this treatment maybe like a month or so ago, but I was like, I'm going to be patient, because it took me 37 years of my life. Maybe I got them when I was 15, so it took me like over 20 years to grow them to this point. So I'm not going to expect them to just poof and disappear overnight, right? So I decided, okay, I'm gonna be really patient with myself, really patient, which is another reason why I'm really adamant right now to not have any more children. Other than that, the delivery was traumatic and I almost lost my life with my second child. I just don't want to keep compromising my health,
Who made
my
this
uterine
strawberry?
health. I don't want to keep compromising my uterine health. A farmer grew it in a field. And I want to be able to have time to actually work on it because I can't take a lot of these things I'm taking, I can't take while I'm pregnant, right? I just want to focus. I just want to focus and get it done because it's very important that to me that I get it done. I'm not the kind of person who had goals like, oh, I need to have 5 children by this age or whatever. I didn't even have goals to have children. I just got inspired by the person that I was with. I felt like, that was the right thing to do at the time. But right now, I feel like the right thing to do for myself right now is to not have any more children and focus on getting rid of these fibroids. Another thing that I didn't think that they were shrinking so quickly was because I have a castor oil pack, but I haven't had time to use it. Because every time I use the castor oil pack, I can only use it when I'm sleeping. And because when I'm sleeping, I co-sleep with my children and I'm breastfeeding and sometimes the baby's like kicking it. So like these are new pajamas that I bought, but I feel like I don't know if you can see they are stained a little bit. I mean it's a brand new pack. It's not supposed to stain
And I
necessarily
love
this. Please sit down. That's why you
my
should. That's why you should
strawberry.
be sitting down.
I'm scared.
That's why you should be sitting down and not disturbing. Okay, don't disturb the video, or sorry guys. So yeah.
And I like strawberry.
I can't see you, sweetie. Sit down, please. I don't want you to fall off the chair. So yeah, another reason was I wasn't wearing the castor oil
I like
pack.
strawberry.
Okay, thank you, sweetheart. They heard you. Can you sit down? Can you sit
Okay.
down? Thank you. You gotta sit down and eat your food. So another reason is that again, I said I know I'm repeating this, but because I wasn't wearing the castor oil pack, I feel like I wasn't maximizing all the things that I could do to shrink these fibroids. Because I did notice previously, again, when I was wearing the castor oil pack, I was getting uterine cramping. So I think that was it working. I was getting cramping specifically, or the sharp pain that I described to you from Google here, from the symptoms, and that's from verywellhealth.com. I was getting those symptoms specifically when, like maybe 5-10 minutes after I put the castor oil pack on. And I know it's that because when I was pregnant with this one, the biggest one, I made the mistake of putting castor oil on my belly, right, for the fibroids, and then I started getting cramping. Then I realized that it's not a good idea while I'm pregnant because if I'm inducing cramping, I could end up getting, issues like a miscarriage or something. So I was just like, okay, I'm not gonna do any of that while I'm pregnant. Anyways, so these symptoms, if you could probably see other sources. This is just the first source that I checked out. But yeah, other sources like where healthwell.com. I'm not gonna have time to go through all of them on this live, but you can go check it out yourselves. I just don't want to have you guys waiting while I'm talking about this. But yes, this is what's going on. So I think they're shrinking. I hope they're shrinking and not growing, because another symptom of like fibroids growing is okay, I'm just gonna read them out. Heavy menstrual bleeding, which I'm not getting that anymore.
But we don't want shrink.
Yeah. Well, I'm not getting it as bad as I used to. It's still kind of on the heavy side, but I think that happens after having children. You're because my period was really late when I was younger. Like before I have children, it was like 3 days long, light as a feather. And obviously, as you get older and you have children, it does tend to get heavy, but it's not nearly as heavy and as painful as before before I started this whole fibroid treatment. So heavy menstrual sorry, not bleeding, menstrual period lasting more than a week. No, that does not happen for me. Mine lasts 5 to 6 days, at the most 7. Pelvic pressure or pain. I don't get pelvic pressure or pain, which is why I think that they're shrinking, because before I did actually feel the weight of this. It was like a football sized fibroid, and I could feel the weight of it, especially when you're pregnant, because it's pushing against a lot of things. It's pushing against a lot of organs and stuff. You need drink some water. That's room temperature water. So if you drink it, it'll take away the brain freeze. And frequent urination. No, I don't get that anymore. Difficulty emptying the bladder. No, don't get that. Constipation. No, don't get that. Backache or leg pain. I used to get that a lot, guys. Before I started this whole treatment, before I changed my diet, I used to get that a lot, and I do not get that. And this is why I'm really convinced, like with these symptoms listed, that it has to be that they are shrinking. And if they're shrinking, that's amazing. I'm gonna keep doing this treatment. Apple cider vinegar supplements, 1,000 milligrams, serapeptase. I'm gonna keep doing this, and I'm gonna try to add back the castor oil pack that I was doing, because I feel like that was really adding to the effectiveness of shrinking them. So I want to keep doing it for at least maybe another 6 months to a year. I will come back in between and just give you an update. But I want to really dedicate a lot of time, because a lot of time was dedicated to growing these fibroids, and then I'll go to the doctor and ask for an ultrasound, maybe every 6 months or so. Maybe I'll try to ask for an ultrasound. But for now, I'm really leaning towards the fact that they're shrinking. So that's all I wanted to share with you guys right now. Anyways, today we're gonna have a busy day. We're gonna go to some jumpy castles thing in town. We're gonna go play, and if I get a chance, I might do a live at that point, or I'll just wait until I get back, because sometimes when you're out with kids, it's difficult, right, to get anything done. Liam, you're doing that again. You're doing it again. This is not safe. You're gonna fall. Do you see this whole gap between your chair and my chair? You're going to fall. And what did Mommy say about disturbing her videos? What does that do?
Can you clean this side off it?
Put it in the plate, then I'll clean it. I just want you to move from here so you don't fall in between the chairs. So yeah, guys, I'm gonna make breakfast, because this is the first thing I just came on to tell you guys. I'm gonna make breakfast, get the kids ready, and we're gonna go have some fun. Okay, now you can talk. Mommy's done talking about the fibroid stuff. If you just came in and you missed it, just go back once I post this and you can rewatch. But say hello.
Hello.
See, I'm eating strawberries.
I eat honey.
And they're yummy.
This was the last one.
We gotta fix your hair, because these cornrows. I took the cornrows out on the side last night, because you can see they're messy, and then I just braided one big one going down here, just to keep his hair from tangling while he's sleeping. But they need to come out. It's time. It's been a week. He's been rolling around on the ground with them and just wrecking them. So, little boys. Yes, he's a little boy. I know he looks like a little girl, but he's always been mistaken for a little girl. Both of them have always been mistaken for little girls. Haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know it too. Yes, he knows he's beautiful. He knows he's handsome. It's gonna be trouble for me once they're teenagers. Imagine 2 of them. Oh my God. The trouble, baby. Right? That's delicious. Thank you. You're so good at sharing. All right, guys, have yourself a wonderful day, and remember that you are amazing. You are worthy. You are beautiful. And if no one's told you that today, we are letting you know, right?
The judge.
I don't know what he's talking about. What are you
The
talking about?
judge.
The judge? What? I don't know.
The
Guys,
judge.
what?
The judge.
The Dutch? What are you saying?
The judge.
Kids, eh? They just say
The
things. I don't know.
judge. The
All right.
judge.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We're going.
Huh?